Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to be looking at the price movement over the last few days. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a future video, and also give the video a thumbs up. We recently hit 30,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for subscribing. Now we're going to go for 40,000 and see how quickly we can get there. I would like to remind you that if you want access to the Telegram group, there's a link in the description below. It'll take you there. We have over 5,000 people, so you can go talk about crypto till your heart's content. And then finally, we do have the premium list, which the prices will be going up here in a few weeks. So if you want to get in, grandfathered in at the earlier price, make sure you check that out. And we'll talk about that a little bit later too. So, really, with these markets, as you guys know, Bitcoin, it runs the roost in a sense. As long as Bitcoin's doing well, and this has been our narrative all along, right? Nothing has changed. What has changed? Nothing. It's just that Bitcoin has continued to perform. It moved above the 20-week moving average, like we speculated that it would. We're seeing a potential short-term speculative bubble this summer, like we speculated that we would see. And now, because of that, we're seeing Ethereum continue to move up and then to stabilize. Now, we made a video, a few weeks ago talking about back when Ether was only 235. We said, okay, guys, this is the accumulation phase of a lifetime, right? The accumulation phase of a lifetime. Ethereum is at its fair value anytime that has historically happened. It does not take very long for us to move above the regression band, right? And if you take a measured move and go to say the different times we hit the fair value, you can see this time it only took about 2 weeks. Another time, it only took about maybe a month or two, a little over a month. This time, of course, we first went down, but right, what's a few bucks among friends, right? It's all the game. It's the game you have to play, right? 91 days, okay. And again here, it only took 14 days once we were at the fair value in this region, fair value. It took us 84 days again. So you can see there are times where we go below the fair value to the bottom of the regression band. But again, this is just business as usual, right? And if these moves scare you, then you're in the wrong asset class, because it's only gonna, even during a bull market, you're gonna continue to see these types of moves where you experience this euphoria with Ethereum, and it goes higher than you probably possibly could have imagined, because you kind of do the numbers in your head. You calculate, okay, well, I have this much Ether. For me to make this much money, it needs to get to this price. And then if you ever see that price, then your head starts spinning. Well, remember to stay resolute, right? This is the chance of a lifetime, in my opinion, to grow your wealth, as long as you're level-headed about it and you come up with a plan. You go into it without a plan, then likely crypto will chew you up and spit you out, and Ethereum is really good at doing that if you're really not sure what you're doing. So I would encourage you guys to really study what you're going to do, because things can get crazy really quickly. We saw that this week, right? In the last few weeks, when Ethereum rallied like 40% after sitting at this fair value for so long. So the last time we reached that fair value was here. And basically, we're taking it from the time we reached the fair value to when we got above the regression band, and it was about 140 days. So this was actually longer than it had ever been in the past. But why is that really that unpredictable, or is that surprising in any way? No, it's not. We know that cycles are likely lengthening, and that it's going to take longer and longer for us to continue to build our way back up. First, to kind of like our maybe a shorter term bubble that might peak at around 750. I'm hoping we can make it there. It would certainly make that video I made a few weeks ago look a lot better. But in that video, we said, maybe somewhere between 750 to 900 in the short term, like within the next 12 to 18 months. I didn't really expect a 40% move this quickly. But if you remember, when we talked about Bitcoin and that 20-week moving average, holding it as support back in, or let's say if you measured it from when Bitcoin got above the 20-week moving average, right? So the red line is getting above it, and then holding it as support, it was around 98 days or so when Bitcoin held it as support. And then if you go to the present day, you can see that it also, and we speculated about this before Ethereum made the move, it was around 98 days, 91, 98 days, generally the same, the same magnitude, order of magnitude of time, almost the same exact amount of time really before we started to see Ethereum make that move, because we know that the reason why I'm showing it up to 98 days here is because we know that this is when Ethereum really started to move. Maybe 98 days, maybe that's not exactly fair. Maybe to say 91 days, right, or 84, because if you go back over here, you can see that Ethereum started moving a couple weeks ago. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, Ethereum broke out from its fair value and has continued to climb outside of the regression band. Now the thing here, right, is there's still a long way to go, right? And there's still a long way to go in the market cycle. The chance that Ethereum comes back into the regression band at some point during the market cycle is very high. It's certainly higher, in my opinion, than it would be for it to not to. If you go back to the last market cycle, it broke above it in 2016, but actually came back into it in late 2016, and even in early 2017, it was back in the regression band. So if you take a measured move from, let's say, a price, let's take the price range from the fair value here in January of 2016 to January of 2017, the fair value, right, was 700% higher. Now, because of diminishing returns, we know that it's not going to continue to increase at that rate. But the point, right, is that this is going to continue to monotonically go up. So, in a few more, like in say another year or two, the fair value is going to be a lot higher than it is today. So the fair value today is currently approximately $240 per Ether. And the upper band here is around 340, and the lower band is around 168. Again, it can go below this, as you can see it did here. And if it does do that, personally, as I said when it happened, this is just an opportunity of a lifetime in a sense, like even more so than accumulating at the fair value. So you don't seek out these moves, right? We're not here to pretend like we know when these moves are exactly going to happen, but you must always be ready for it to happen, because if it happens, right, it presents an opportunity. It does not present necessarily the opportunity to freak out and to go sell your Ethereum, right? If that's what you're going to do, then again, crypto will chew you up and spit you out. It gives you the opportunity, right, if you have money on the sidelines, to get back in, okay? Or to say to continue to accumulate your position, and this is why we talk about dynamically dollar cost averaging into the market, whereas when you're up here at higher risk levels, you're putting in less than when you're down here at much lower risk levels. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the risk metric, we do talk about that. It is part of the premium content. So if you want access to the premium content, go to intothecryptoverse.com. You'll get access to 4 things, okay? You'll get access to a weekly premium report where I put out, basically it provides a lot of the same stuff, but every single week, I have like a special topic where we talk about something new. And in the last video, it was a risk metric on Monero, and then videos before that we talked about Bitcoin dominance and how it relates to things like Ethereum and so on and so forth. So if you want to check it out, you'll get a premium report every week delivered to your inbox. You'll also get a premium video to accompany the report. And then what a lot of people really like recently is there's also a private Telegram group, an alerts group that you'll get access to. And in this alerts group, I'll tell you my candid thoughts on the markets, and not just crypto. So we also talk about precious metals, we talk about stocks, the S&P 500, etc. So you get access to that. And then finally, you get access to a Google Sheets risk dashboard where there's plenty of premium videos that will explain how to interpret it and how you can use it to try to grow your portfolio over time, to dollar cost average into the market when it's the right time, and then to dollar cost average out of the market when it's the right time. So, it's been working really well so far. So I would encourage you guys to check it out, because the prices are about to go up here in a few weeks. I don't actually have a specific date on that yet, but it will be in a few weeks from now. The prices will be going up, and if you get in now, then you'll be grandfathered in, right? So it basically allows earlier people, so people that were earlier into the market, they were following me, in 2020, right? Or at this point in 2020, it gives you guys the opportunity to get in now before, the prices go up, and then you're no longer going to be grandfathered in. So if you get in now, you're grandfathered in at the lower price. And if you want to get a discount, you can pay with cryptocurrency. And if you can pay for 6 or 12 months, obviously the best value is paying for 12 months because you get a 15% discount. What a lot of people actually end up doing is they pay for 1 month with fiat, and then if they like it, then they'll switch over to 12 months, just because they want to save money over the long haul. I think it's a good decision. So let's get back to the chart. So the thing with Ethereum now, right, is where is it going? And you can tell, right, that 400 has provided a decent amount of resistance for Ether. And, because of this, right, it actually has kind of stalled out a little bit. You can see it's around 396. What is encouraging is the fact that it is still keeping this level. It has not immediately retraced. It's also a good thing, technically speaking, in a bull market where it doesn't just go up 30 or 40% every single day or something, where it does take a breather. Maybe some people are taking profits, some newer money's coming into the space because they see the excitement going on, and then it ultimately potentially can help fuel us up for the move to, say, the next level, right? And you can kind of feel it, right? I mean, between say 240 to 300, we kind of felt like, okay, it's kind of like a lower level. Then we're now between 300 to 400, and the risk is going up. 400 and higher, you can tell that we're really pushing our risk up higher and higher. And so what I'm looking for, right, for Ethereum to break through 400, what is it? I mean, you guys know the answer by this point, right? Really, all that needs to happen is Bitcoin either needs to stay the same or go up. If Bitcoin stays the same, then the nice thing is then the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio would probably increase, because then it gives Ethereum that confidence it needs yet again. And they've been dancing, right? They've been dancing for weeks now, months even. They've been dancing back and forth. And the nice thing about this dance, right, is, Ethereum, Bitcoin holds the level, Ethereum makes the move, and then Bitcoin plays catch up, right? And then during that catch up phase, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio bleeds a little bit. So you can see it here, right? If we just take this, you can see this is the move. The Ethereum Bitcoin ratio goes up, and then it heads back down to this support level. Okay, back out. Bitcoin moves back down. Again, there's a little one there, back down, another one here. Now, the way that we would go back down, right, is if Bitcoin all of a sudden gets extremely bullish. And by extremely bullish, I mean, like, if you see Bitcoin imminently breaking out and it goes up, like, say, day after day, then it'll essentially, it basically doesn't allow other coins to kind of catch up with it, because all the money is just pouring into Bitcoin. So what I would be looking for is if you see Bitcoin break through 12K and then it doesn't stop, and then it keeps going, and then before you know it, it's 12.5, and then it gets to 13, and then 13.5, and then 14. Something like this would obviously cause, or most likely, obviously there's no guarantees, but there's a decent chance that if something like that were to happen, then the Ethereum ratio would bleed again, because more money would be flowing into Bitcoin than Ethereum. And even some people would be taking their Ether profits, right, which they're up 40% in the last couple weeks, and maybe putting it back into Bitcoin to ride that wave. The way that it could also go down, as we've mentioned, is if Bitcoin kicks the bucket. So if Bitcoin decides, you know what, it's been a fun ride, but I need to go back down to 10K, 10.5 or something to just chill out there for a few weeks or a few months before we continue on up our trend. If that happens quickly, if you see Bitcoin bleed really quickly, then this would be another reason that the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio would potentially bleed back to this point. Where the Goldilocks region is for Ethereum, right, is if Bitcoin either slowly moves up, so it might, maybe it moves up to 11.9, 12, 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, and then it kind of just sits humdrum. This would give Ethereum, again, that confidence to move up again with respect to Bitcoin. Another thing, right, and we know this, is if Bitcoin just stays at 11.8. I mean, like, let Bitcoin do its thing at 11.8 for a few weeks, and again, give Ethereum the confidence that it needs to push through 400 and seek out higher local highs. And if you look at the chart, right, I mean, there's this level here, which we already broke through, which was around $300, right? We know this was a level it was really nice to break through it. You can see that candle that came right up to it, and then the next candle just blew past it, okay? Now, if you look at this chart, there's also, not that I trade based on these resistance levels. I don't. As I mentioned, I just trade based on the risk metric. You can see we're basically right at the top. This was the bottom here, right, at around $400, and then we broke through it there. This is where we currently are, okay? So obviously you can see it's putting up a fight. 400 it's not going to go down without a fight, which is why we've been spending a number of days there. Now, there is always a chance, right, that if the crypto market cools off for a little bit, maybe it cools off in the fourth quarter, which we always know is a possibility, then there's nothing wrong with Ethereum coming back into the regression band and giving people more time to accumulate, because you see how quickly the sentiment can change, right? I get the state of the world, right, is like most people they want everything like now. They don't want to wait for it. But think about, the rewards that people are reaping right now that got in down here, right? Everyone likes to look back and say, man, I wish I'd bought at that level, but they don't actually want to be there when it is at that level, right? When it is at these levels, they're off, they're capitulating out of crypto a lot of times, and they're doing something completely different. And then when it goes up, if you see something like that, then they look back and say, oh man, what a great time to get in, you're so lucky. And what do we say to them? It's not luck, it was a calculated risk. It was an investment I made, knowing the risks that were involved, and it worked out. And there's no luck about it. We looked at the data. We look at what the data suggested, not what Ben suggested, what the data suggested. And it suggested that these levels, historically, right, were among the best times to get into Ethereum. And if you reaped a reward for that, then good. You took on the risk. If it goes up, you deserve the reward. So this is the general sentiment. So if we do come back into the regression band, I would say don't fret. It's just treat it as an opportunity. At least that's what I'm going to do. Not financial advice, but I would treat it as an opportunity personally, because there's only so many times in life, or even I don't want to say life. There's only so many times during an Ethereum market cycle that you can get in at this level, because we do spend. Even the last market cycle, we spent a lot of time in bubble territory, right? And looking back, it's like, man, getting in at these key points, that was the time, And if we look back at this point in 2 or 3 years, we might say that this was the time, and then we might also say that if Ethereum does break through, probably not all the way to 1400 in the short term, but and then if it comes back down to say 400 or 500, which probably might be in the regression band at that time, right? Then it could potentially have this be the first accumulation range of the cycle, or maybe this would be the first one, this would be the second, and then maybe there's another third one sometime down the road. But this is what we're here for. Is it not? This is what we're here for. So let me know what you guys think, right? The market cycle, we just published a video on Bitcoin saying, is the Bitcoin bull market starting? We talked about that a lot. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. The key thing, right, for Bitcoin, we need to confirm the 20-week moving average. And currently the 20-week, it's around $8,800 or so, but it's moving up quickly. And it's not going to take very long for the 20-week moving average itself to get above $10,000, depending on how long Bitcoin can stay at these levels. So with that said, you need to consider the fact that if the bull market is starting, even if it is starting, there's going to be times where the market tries to shake people out, right? And you see it time and time again during bull markets, these 30% drops, right? They happen constantly, even during a bull market. And you can look at a bull market and say, man, I wish I was along for that ride. It's not a picnic. Even bull markets, they're not picnics, right? You can see the 30% drops, or 30 or 40% drops are fairly constant. What you don't see are 50% drops. The 50% drop comes, right? When the 50% drop comes at the end, right? When the 20-week is broken. That's when it comes. So this is what we're looking for. You must always be prepared for a crash of Bitcoin back to the 20-week. Always be prepared. You don't necessarily seek it out, but you must be ready for it if it comes. And if Bitcoin does that, it directly affects Ethereum. Okay? Let's hope, as we've said, right? This could be a potential speculative bubble, a short-term bubble, right? We've been talking about a potential short-term bubble in crypto for several months now that potentially could happen this summer. And now that it might be happening, it's certainly possible. I would say it's certainly possible that Ethereum does break through 400 and continue on up the ranks. And the message I'm bringing to you, right, is at the end of the day, no one knows what's going to happen. Therefore, you should be prepared whether it goes up or it comes back down into the regression path. Ultimately, the price of Ethereum does not matter. It's ultimately how you react to the change in price that matters. Because if you react appropriately, you can ultimately, make a better life for yourself. If you act inappropriately or in a way that just completely is dumb money thinking, then, good luck, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like the content. We do typically post a lot of, custom charts on the channel. But I do like to just pull up TradingView and kind of just go off for a few minutes and kind of tell you my feelings on the market. So make sure you subscribe if you want to catch future videos on Ethereum and Bitcoin, as well as a few other coins. And then also remember, if you want, you can get access to the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com, which comes with a whole suite of things, including the alerts channel and the weekly video, the weekly report, and the risk dashboard. So a lot of value. And the best value, right, is paying with crypto for 12 months. And if you want to pay just for 1 month at a time, then you can pay with fiat. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section, and I will see you next time. Bye.